My name is Duane Stateler. I'm a farmer from Macomb, Ohio, in Hancock County, in the northwest part of the state. I am a fourth-generation farmer at this location, sixth-generation farmer in Ohio. And we have been here since 1874. We farm about 1,100 acres. We own about 450, and we grow wheat, corn, beans, and we have 7,200 head of hogs. We're a contract grower for Horde Family Farms in Bucyrus, and we've been that since 2005. I know a lot about the history from 1874 here because I was very lucky that my great-grandfather kept a daily diary. So I have everything from like the 1860s to present to 1930s here. So we've got a long history. We've always had hogs on the farm. That's been one standard, and we've always had grain. I took over the farm in 1984, and from Dad, he just stepped back, sort of like what I have done now with my son Anthony, and he pretty much does the day-to-day and everything, and I'm just sort of along for the ride now. Anthony came back to the farm full-time in 2018 when Anthony made the decision that he wanted to come back and be part of the farm. I said, we got to diversify our income so we can spread things out, so eventually when these buildings are paid for, you've got a sustained income to work. You can come back home from working off farm, and we'll have something that we can drive forward with. And we've always been open to change. Started no-tilling in 1983. Even before I came home, I talked Dad into letting us try that a little bit. The main rationale I wanted to try to go into no-till was because the erosion. When you would see, when the wind would come and you'd see the dust blowing across, you know, we were losing a lot of good topsoil. And they just don't make that anymore. You can't go buy, you know, a new area to farm because it's just not available. So we've got to do everything we can to protect it. So that was why we started with the no-till.
Well, just a fantastic character. He's been involved in a lot of leadership activities. He's been very active in the Ohio pork producers and even the national pork producers. Officer, chairman of several committees. He's been involved locally, like I said, on many functions. I know the local school board. He was on that school board for many years, so extremely active. But probably his biggest accomplishment, he and his son, Anthony, have taken their farm and using their farm as a Blanchard River water quality project and testing site, where they have literally hosted probably several thousand people in relation to water quality and agricultural research to help that water quality. He's always a leader in his field. He's always one to be quick to host field days. He's always one to be quick to share information to help other ones. He's certainly a leader in the field and definitely a leader in agriculture and farming, which makes him very, very suited to receive this prestigious award here.
No, I always wanted to be a farmer. It hurt me to go to town to work, but Dad sort of pushed me that direction, and I'm glad he did because it gives you a different perspective. You know, it gives you a perspective on not only, even though I was involved in agriculture, I got a chance to see a lot more part of the agriculture than what I would have if I just stayed, you know, in the farm. And the satisfaction that comes with providing food for the nation, you know, no matter which way it is, really something that's worthwhile. My off-farm was a member of the Oakdale Church. I've been a superintendent, Sunday school teacher. I was on the school board for about 15, 16 years. And in 2005, I retired off the fire department after 30 years. I was a volunteer fireman here in Macomb for 30 years. And then my involvement in the pork board, I've been involved in that since 2008. And from state president all the way up to where I'm on the national board at this present time. Well, I have the mentors I hope I don't leave anybody out. But I would say one of the ones that's at the top of the list is my good friend Gary Wilson. He was the ag agent here in Hancock County. We grew up through 4-H, junior leadership, FFA together. And he was always there when you had a question. I could not leave out my dad, Merrill Stateler, and my grandpa, Max Stateler. If it wasn't for their leadership and their ideas of instilling that we're going to do everything we can to protect the ground that we farm, because they're not making any more of it, and we need this to last for generations. It's important to be involved in your community, give back, because the opportunity comes from you get to see the whole community as a whole. It gives you time to be back. I was taught that from my dad and my grandfather. The best piece of advice that I've gotten would have to come from my dad. Don't be afraid to try something different.